Hello, English learners. Welcome back. I have a fun question for you today. Can you remember your favorite subject when you were at school? What was it?
That's a great challenge to start, Emma. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the English Speaking School podcast.
Yes, it's great to have you with us. Today, we are going to talk about a part of everyone's life, their education. We will help you describe your school days and what you studied.
That's right. We'll focus on using the past tense. This is important for telling stories about what happened before. And we'll learn a very useful phrase, I used to.
Exactly. I used to is perfect for talking about old habits or things you did in the past, like I used to study a lot. We will also give you words for different school subjects, like math, history, or art.
So whether you want to talk about your high school years or your university courses, we've got you covered. Let's start learning how to share your educational journey in English.
And if you enjoy challenges like today's, thinking back to your school days, then please make sure to subscribe to our podcast. It helps us a lot, and you won't miss any new episodes.
Exactly. We'll keep bringing you useful English tips. For example, when you tell us about your courses, you might say, I took a computer science course last year. Took is the past tense of take, a common verb for subjects.
All right, let's get into our first tool for today. To talk about your educational background, the most important grammar point is the past simple tense. It's how we tell stories about what happened.
Exactly. When you're talking about school, you're usually looking back at the past, so the past simple is essential. For example, you might say, I finished high school in 2010, or I studied English literature at university.
Notice finished and studied. These are regular verbs. We just add ed. You'll use them a lot. Think about when you graduated or what subjects you enjoyed.
But some common verbs are irregular. For example, I went to elementary school when I was 6. Went is the past of go. Or, I had a great teacher for science. Had is the past of have.
Right. So think about which school you attended, what specific courses you took, and what grades you got. All these actions happened in the past, so use the past simple.
Let's put it all together. Imagine someone asks you, tell me about your high school. You could say, I went to Northwood High School. I graduated in 2015. My favorite subject was history, and I loved learning about ancient civilizations.
That's a perfect example, John. You used went, past of go, graduated, regular verb, was, past of be, and loved, regular verb. It tells a clear story from the past using past simple.
Exactly. You see how easy it is to form a short paragraph? Every verb describes something that already happened. For instance, I took a lot of art classes because I enjoyed drawing. Here, took is past of take, and enjoyed is a regular past tense verb.
So, listeners, think about your own school. What school did you attend? What was your favorite subject? Try to form a sentence or two using the past simple, like John's example. Great job, everyone, practicing the past simple. Now, let's move on to our second important tool for talking about your education, the phrase, I used to.
Yes, I used to is super helpful. We use it for things that were true or happened many times in the past but don't happen now. It describes past habits or states.
Exactly. For instance, I could say, I used to study art every day after school. This means I did it regularly in the past, but I don't do it now.
Or, I used to dislike history, but now I find it interesting. It shows a change from the past to the present. Remember, it's used to with D, even though it sounds like used to.
That's a very important point about the pronunciation. And it's for repeated actions or states, not for single events. You wouldn't say, I used to pass an exam for one time. You'd say, I passed an exam.
Right. So think about what subjects you regularly studied or what you often did in school. You might say, I used to spend hours in the library, or my friends and I used to play football during breaks.
All right, John, let's put this into practice. Tell me a bit about your university days. What did you study?
Okay. Well, I went to university in Manchester. I studied history and politics. I used to really enjoy learning about ancient civilizations.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. Did you take any other interesting courses while you were there?
Yes, I did. I also took a course on modern European languages. I used to spend a lot of time in the library researching for my essays.
Sounds like you were a dedicated student. I remember I used to dislike exams, but I loved my art history classes.
Me too. And I graduated in 2005. It feels like a long time ago now.
Excellent. In that short role play, you heard John use I went to university, I studied history, and I used to enjoy learning.
And I also said I took a course and I used to spend time. These are all perfect for talking about your past education.
Now it's your turn, listeners. We started this episode by asking you to think about your favorite subject. Can you expand on that now?
Exactly. Try to tell us about your own educational journey. Use the past simple for specific events, like I studied math or I graduated in 2008.
And don't forget I used to for things you did regularly. Maybe I used to play football during lunch breaks, or I used to read a lot of books for my English class.
Combine them. For example, I went to high school in Paris. I used to love chemistry, and I took many science classes. See if you can create a few sentences about your own experience.
Fantastic! We've covered a lot on how to talk about your education. Now let's look at some common mistakes people make when trying this challenge. It's totally normal to make mistakes. It helps us learn.
That's right, Emma. One common mistake with I used to is how we form questions or negative sentences. People often say, did you used to like history, with used to ending in D.
Good point, John. Remember, when you use did or didn't, the D from used moves to did. So it should be, did you used to like history, with use having no D. Or, I didn't used to enjoy math.
Another mistake is using I used to for actions that happened only one time. For example, I used to pass my driving test in 2010 is incorrect because passing a test is a single event.
Exactly. For single past events, you just use the past simple. So it should be, I passed my driving test in 2010. Used to is for things that were repeated or true for a period in the past.
And a quick reminder on irregular verbs. Don't say I goed to school or I taked many courses. The correct forms are I went to school and I took many courses. Keep practicing those.
Excellent points on avoiding those common errors. Now, let's quickly recap the 3 most important things we've learned today to talk about your educational background.
First, master the past simple tense for specific events and completed actions in the past. Think, I graduated in 2010, or I studied physics.
Second, confidently use I used to for past habits or states that are no longer true. Like, I used to love art classes, or my school used to have a big library.
And third, remember the important rule for used to in questions and negatives. It becomes used to without the D after did or didn't. So, did you used to play sports?
You've got this. For your quick challenge today, we want you to describe your own school experience. Find a friend, a family member, or even just write down 3 sentences about your education.
Make sure to use at least one example of the past simple and one instance of I used to. We're confident you can do it. It's a great way to practice these new tools immediately.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for taking charge of your English learning. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and we'll see you in the next episode for more English speaking school tips.